you should be ashamed. Disney did the demon's hair and then Harry robbed her. Why was she wearing cornrows? Please help me understand why she had freaking cornrows. I'm really gonna need y'all to start treating people of color like actual people and not props, okay? Y'all shouldn't have just went with that storyline if it was gonna be that weak. And you wanna know how weak it was? I completely forgot it happened. This is filled with like big alligator moments when it comes to the side characters. You heard that correctly. Like, people, when I tell people that there's a drugging scene in Descendants, they never want to believe me until I'm like, I pull up the timestamp, and they was like, I adore Boo Boo Stewart. I think he's great, but his casting is terrible for this movie. It makes no sense. Moving on, today we are here to drag Descendants again, like I always do. My favorite pastime, if you guys cannot tell, is me dragging Disney Channel's Descendants.
Bitch, there's a ghost in the house.
I like the way they rock, they fall, they die. I like the way they drop when I'm outside.
Harriyannahook wants to cry right now. She really wants to cry. Yeah, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. It's been a really emotional week for me. Okay? It's been a really emotional week. I don't know where to begin. But I promised that I was gonna make this video for you guys because it needs to be discussed and I don't want to wait any longer on it because I already told you guys this video was coming. But yeah, if you guys noticed the camera's different, I'll just get into like what happened with me this week and why things don't look the same because I'm on the verge of a mental breakdown. Before I even get started about what happened with me and why I'm acting this way, thank you guys for tuning into this video. Please support me on the Patreon right now, please, pretty please, because I have to get a new camera battery. And because yes, if you guys have not noticed, this is my phone. By the way, I had to get a new phone today because something happened to my old one. So yeah, better quality. So up until I can get my battery replaced because I lost it, I don't even know where it was. I don't even know where it is. I think we left it at the filming location where we filmed the pilot for the Progenies, which is another thing that's been stressing me out. Yeah. So until I can get my battery replaced, we're gonna be on the phone. But the thing is, like, this is a really great quality. It's just as good as the other one too. So I'm not really complaining much about it. I'd rather have my camera because if I had my camera, this wouldn't be in the way. Y'all know it bothers me when that freaking poster is in the way because we talk mess about this movie all the time. And the poster's right here. So anyway, aside from that, yeah. So I forgot to mention that another reason why this week was horrible is that I lost my hook necklace. So, you know, we're going to be wearing the H necklace until the new one comes, okay? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But y'all just saw me have like a breakdown on camera. Not really like a breakdown, but me just kind of venting because I ain't had nobody to talk to about my business all day today. And I'm just kind of like, But yes, and you guys don't know who I am harriyannahook. Okay, what's going on with this hair? I'm so ready to take this mess out. I was going for Zoe Kravitz's high fidelity look. It's cute, but I'm just like, I can't deal with this. It keeps getting caught in my earrings. Okay. But yes, I am harriyannahook. I like to make content based on nostalgia and family-based entertainment and the social issues that entwine with that. And before we even go any further, we're gonna have to some more ground rules because a lot of y'all are freaking trying me. Y'all are really freaking trying me. Oh my gosh, this is not my cabinet's right here. God, wait, this is a disaster. I'm sorry if this right here is bothering you. I can't do nothing about it. I can't do anything about this right here. Before we start, I'm gonna have to address something to y'all. And when I say y'all, I mean the people that are not my followers. Y'all are good, some of y'all, because some of y'all be doing too much. I'm talking about the people that find my videos after my subscribers watch them. This is for y'all. Aside from me being a blogger, I am also a writer and an actor. Currently in school for both of those things. I'm in college for theater. My minor is theater. My minor is communication and media studies. And my other minor is African American studies. I'm not in high school like a lot of y'all think I am. I am in college. But when I was in high school, I used to be studying these things a lot of times in my free time because just for fun, I just love learning. I love education. I'm really big on education. So y'all got that. And I've also taken numerous psychology classes for fun in college and a lot of other classes that have to do with studying people. I'm literally in school for studying people, okay? I specialize in doing the most. Part of my job to look deeper inside of things. My channel is not for you if you don't look beneath the surface. I think children should have better media, okay? That's the main reason why I'm making this stuff, okay? I think kids need to see healthy relationships and friendships. I think they should see LGBT characters of color. I think they should see people of color portrayed correctly. And when I say correctly, I don't mean they have to be perfect. I just want them to be portrayed in a better light. I will repeat it again. My channel is not for you if you don't look beneath the surface. That's literally what all these commentary channels on YouTube do. Commentary YouTube is not meant for you if you don't take deeper dives into what is going on. In the media, in the real world, whatever. This side of YouTube ain't for you. You might as well go somewhere else with that because don't come over here flunking up our air. Moving on, today we are here to drag Descendants again, like I always do. My favorite pastime, if you guys cannot tell, is me dragging Disney Channel's Descendants. But everybody be like, I don't understand how you like Descendants, but you be the first one to crap on it. Yes, because I think Descendants could have been better. It could have been better. Don't get mad at me. So today we're going to be talking about the anti-Asian sentiment of Disney's Descendants. As you guys did watch my last video, not my last one, but my most recent one where I specifically spoke about race. Did I talk about race another time? We talked about the anti-Indian sentiment of Jessie and the anti-South Asian sentiment of just Disney Channel and Nickelodeon in general. And today we're talking about a little another branch of that, but specifically with Descendants because it's something that I've noticed right after I made that video, and I was like, yeah, Disney, this isn't the first time you've done this. I want to tell y'all one thing because a lot of y'all are a little too like y'all don't get what we do over here. The biggest fans of Descendants, and when I say that I mean the Tumblr fans on Descendants, they hate the movie more than anyone else, okay? We hate Descendants more than the rest of society, okay? Not the people that don't like Descendants because they think it's corny. We dislike it because it had potential to be better and it disappointed us. The Indian sentiment video was very well received. So you know what? We're going to do some more of that because like I said, I do study race a lot, and I'm not just studying race for Black people or Black American people. I study race for people worldwide, and I do have a bit of knowledge when it comes to Asian people. More like when it comes to like race, it's first I know a lot about Black people, then I know a lot about white people, then I learn a lot about Asian people. So here we go. We're gonna get into that. Gonna show you guys my skills. Before we get into the main issues with Disney and Lonnie, y'all, we gotta talk about Jay's casting. We have to talk about Jay's casting. As we know, Jay, okay, before we can even get into that, you know how they made a remake of the movie Aladdin, right? Aladdin takes place in like the Middle Eastern. Disney put out a casting call saying they were looking for Egyptian actors and South Asian actors. Okay. Around the time they were casting for that, Descendants was like up and coming. I think Descendants did happen before Aladdin. Like they announced they were doing Aladdin, but it wasn't like full on casting and whatnot. So that makes sense that everybody in the movies would have been either Egyptian or South Asian. Boo Boo Stewart is an indigenous man. He is neither Arab nor is he South Asian. Jafar, who is the villain of Aladdin, is in Aladdin. Boo Boo Stewart is an indigenous man cosplaying as a Middle Eastern / South Asian man. I adore Boo Boo Stewart. I think he's great. But his casting is terrible for this movie. It makes no sense. I feel like if they did want to put Boo Boo Stewart in this movie, they should have made him Pocahontas' son. And even that's problematic as a whole because Pocahontas is a real person. But you know, it would have been way better than to just miscast this guy. And the thing about it is that Disney's horrible, but I'd rather see this than I see a white man play Jay, okay? A white man played Jay, okay? But it's still horrible because Disney thinks we're stupid. I'm really convinced that Disney thinks we're stupid. I hope y'all understand that y'all have a whole fan base of adults, the adult Disneys. I'm not an adult Disney, by the way. People try to say that I am. I am not. I act nothing like those people because those people see no wrong in Disney. I would be the first person to point it out. I don't care about going to Disney World and all that and being in cahoots and getting sponsorships with them. I don't freaking care about that. Adult Disneys would not be pointing out the race issues in Descendants. Like I said, it could have been worse if they casted a white man, but like y'all Disney, we're not stupid. We're not stupid. Literally, what was so hard about y'all finding a South Asian or Arab man for Jay's casting? What was so difficult about that? Moving on from Jay, we're going to go talk about Lonnie's casting because Lonnie's casting is a bit problematic. It is. We have to talk about it. Lonnie is a Chinese girl. She is the daughter of Mulan. Now, Mulan takes place in China, and I'm not really going to get much into like the Mulan discourse and whatnot. There's numerous videos about that on YouTube about how people feel about that. But we're strictly just talking about Mulan in this universe. We're not talking about the new one. We're not talking about the old one. But yes, Mulan is Chinese. Diane Doan, hopefully I said that correctly. Diane Doan, she is Vietnamese. She is 7/8 Vietnamese, 1/8 Chinese. It's a bit problematic. It's a bit problematic. I've seen Asian people complain when they have, like, let's say if there's a Korean person, and they cast a Chinese person in that role to be portraying a Korean person, I completely understand why they're upset. Because I personally get upset when I see Black British people over here playing American Black people, especially when it comes to portraying historical figures. And 9 times out of 10, they be saying some real disrespectful stuff about African Americans too. So I completely understand why Asian people want the right kind of Asian person to be playing that type of person. Like, no, I completely understand. That's why I think the casting is problematic. They really should have gotten at least a half Chinese girl, not like one that's like 1/8. But I'm not like here to hate on Diane. She is great at what she does. No shade to her. But like, yeah. Moving on from Lonnie's casting, we're going into Dizzy's casting, and there actually was another Asian woman in the movie, but we'll get into her later because she really only had like 2 lines in the movie and then we never saw her again. But Dizzy is the daughter of Drizella Tremaine, who is the daughter of Lady Tremaine. So Dizzy's grandma is... You know what, Disney? I'm tired of y'all portraying women as color as horrible in these Descendants movies. Anyway, moving on. But yes, Lady Tremaine is her grandmother. She is Lady Tremaine's granddaughter. And Anna Cathcart is half Chinese, half white. Now, as somebody that studies race, looking at her, I can tell she's half Chinese and half white. But as somebody that does not really know much about race or doesn't really care too much for it, they would have looked at her and just saw a white girl, because Anna does favor her white side more than she favors her Asian side. But the girl is Asian. Like, she's Asian. I'm glad that Disney threw that in there. And I also do praise Disney. You know we don't praise Disney that much over here for doing a bare minimum. Yeah, they did the bare minimum with this. But I did like how they did make it clear that Dizzy is half Chinese, or at least Chinese, because her mother made an appearance in the film. And we did get an Asian woman, so I was happy about that. She was portrayed in a negative light like we have with the other women of color in this franchise, but we won't go there. Now we're going to take a look into Lonnie's character. What did Lonnie do? What was Lonnie's story arc throughout the franchise? Yada, yada, yada. Spoiler alert, it's very, very disappointing. Also, y'all know another reason my week was horrible. Lost the nail and I can't find it, so I couldn't glue it back on. It's horrible. And then my nails messed up. Like, I got acid on it, burnt my hand. It's been terrible from this harriyannahook, okay? Neither she or Disney did much of anything in this franchise. Don't try to say that they did, because they really didn't. I will get there. I will get there. Good thing I will point out about these characters is that they are very, very nice people. So, so sweet, unproblematic, very, very sweet characters. I'm glad that they weren't portrayed in a negative light, but that kind of doesn't make up for everything else when you actually look at the material, because they kind of didn't have any growth to do much of anything. I do really appreciate how Lonnie was very welcoming to the core four, because before Descendants came out, they actually did have a short like web series called Descendants School of Secrets, and Lonnie was the one that was kind of like, I want to see how everybody feels about the VKs, because Lonnie was actually really excited about the new kids coming, and I really do appreciate her being so welcoming to the core four when they started going to Ordon Prep. Now, the first time we saw Lonnie was in D1. Disney did not make an appearance till D2. Lonnie was, she like came into Mal and Evie's dorm, and Mal did her hair. That's it. Mal did her hair. And also, they were rude to her. Mal and Evie were rude to her. They did her hair. That's it. Off topic, but I am so sick of Disney trying to portray long hair as something extremely beautiful and short hair is completely ugly. Cause so I ain't gonna tell y'all, a lot of y'all be looking better when y'all cut y'all hair. Not even trying to be rude, because no, there is literally nothing ugly about short hair. You literally look at all the freaking Disney princesses. They, almost all of them have long hair. You look at all the actors on Disney, all of them have long hair. Literally, Rapunzel grew her hair back. Like, I really don't like how Entangled the series, her hair was short. They didn't like let her keep her cute brown hair, and I thought her brown hair was so freaking cute. Anyway, let's move it on, because they did that again with Jane, when Jane had hair up to here and then they grew it out long, and they did the same thing with Lonnie, and I was just like, no, Disney. Short hair is not ugly. And that's literally one thing that Descendants kept saying throughout this movie, is that short hair is ugly. We're not gonna get on Carlos though, because his short hair was so cute, and then, you know, the bang. And then next thing we know, we see Lonnie in the drug cookie scene. The drug cookie scene. Everybody knows I hate this scene so much. This is before the drug cookie scene. This is when they were in the making of making the drug cookies. You heard that correctly. Like, people, when I tell people that there was a drugging scene in Descendants, they never want to believe me until I'm like, I pull up the timestamp, and they was like, we really showed our kids this? We really showed our kids this. Disney, you should be ashamed. Walked in on them making the drug cookies, and in order for the spell to work, they had to use a tear. Because if they used a fake tear, it wouldn't have worked the same. And yeah, they were able to get the tear, and yeah. That's all she did. That's it. That one little thing. I feel like yeah. Honestly, looking at this, Descendants has way too many characters for it to be movies. They really should have went with making a series if they were going to have all these characters in here. That's literally where a lot of it falls flat, and it really hurts the characters of color the most. And that all was from D1. Not much to elaborate on. That's pretty much it. Moving on to Wicked World and D2. Wicked World, she finds a love for hip-hop dancing. And can we please talk about why she was wearing cornrows? Why was she wearing cornrows? Please help me understand why she had freaking cornrows. Descendants, y'all all know how I feel about the hair in this movie. I personally would like a word with the Descendants hair team, because I have some things that I need to say to you guys, because harriyannahook is not satisfied. I will never be satisfied, to be honest, with Descendants, but you know, don't like how they was trying to, like, Lonnie was like emulating African-American culture right there. I didn't like that. I don't like that. Maybe I'm looking too hard in it. You know what we do over here on the pirate ship. I don't know. It was just really distasteful to see that. But, you know, that wasn't her fault. Like, Diane, not her fault whatsoever. Disney's to blame. On from that, we go to D2. That was like we were talking about D2, but moving on to her actual storyline in D2, except for her appearance, where literally she followed Jay and Carlos to the owl. Mal ran away. They had to go clean up her mess, and then they went back home, and then they went back, and then next thing you know, Lottie followed him, and basically she blackmailed them because she was upset about them being sexist toward her at Roar, which I understand, which is genuine. She had every right to be upset at them, okay? And then Jay was impressed by her fencing when they were fighting the C3 and the pirates, and made her captain of the Roar team because yay, feminism. Like, Descendants tries so hard to be feminist movies and it always falls flat. Like, I shouldn't have just went with that storyline if it was gonna be that weak. And you wanna know how weak it was? I completely forgot it happened. Until I started looking back at the research about talking about Lonnie. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I literally forgot all about Lonnie's character. I remember what she looked like. I remember she was there. I don't remember what she did at all. Yeah, she was just salty about that, which she had every right to. Blackmailed him, came there. That's her storyline. That's it. And then she was never mentioned again. She was mentioned in the books. You know, her storyline had to do with, yay, feminism, that storyline. And then she was never mentioned again after that. After that, she started doing Roar full time. Happy for Lonnie. Happy she had a real good, successful career. Love that. We love that for Lonnie. But then she was not, people don't like to read. People don't like to read. And she was never mentioned again. So nobody really knows how her story ended. That Descendants is filled with so many big-lipped alligator moments. Shout out to Lindsay Ellis for coining that term. Go watch Lindsay Ellis if you haven't. She's freaking amazing. But yes, Descendants is filled with like big-lipped alligator moments when it comes to the side characters. Moving on to another big-lipped alligator moment, we have to talk about Miss Busy because her character literally is just a big-lipped alligator moment. At the time, Dizzy was the youngest character as they brought in the Smeets twins in the third movie, and they really kind of were irrelevant. They didn't do much of anything. I felt like Disney was just there to show that kids, little small children, lived on that owl, and it fell very flat. Because they did nothing with those little boys, okay? So, yes, speaking of D2, Dizzy was the youngest kid that we saw in these movies. Aside from the little demon kids, not the demon kids, they're not bad. The kids from the owl that we saw in and out, the extras and whatnot, Dizzy was like the first one to actually like talk. All Dizzy did was do the demon's hair. Dizzy did the demon's hair and then Harry robbed her. That's all she did in the movie. That's all she had. Descendants is so horrible. Like, I don't even get sad when people tell me. They've been like, listen, Harriyanna, you're great, but Descendants is actually really terrible. And I'm like, oh, you're not hurting my feelings. I know it's bad. I know it's really bad. That's why we're remaking it with the progenies, but we're not going to talk about the progenies right now. Go follow the progenies on Instagram, okay? Go follow the progenies on Instagram. It's a Descendants fan series. We're going to do these characters justice, okay? Especially Lonnie. We're going to do these characters justice, okay? Descendants wasted them. Like I tell people, don't even watch the movies if you've never seen Descendants. Just go read the fics. If you want some fic recommendations, comment down below and I will send you some, okay? I may send you some of mine, by the way, just a heads up, but there are numerous other good stories that I will send for you, okay? That's it. Like, I don't understand why they had that little, like I said, Descendants has horrible continuity. Why did they have that little scene at the end of D2 for her to just still be living on the owl in D3? It makes no sense because they gave, like, the Oradon guards came and they were like, hey, so we're taking you. And she was happy. Why was she still in the hood at the beginning of D3? Why was she still there? Descendants 3 is so freaking trash. I really only speak of the first movie. And then the C3, the Harry, Uma, and Gil scenes in the second movie. After that, everything's irrelevant. Mentioned in D3, Lonnie wasn't even mentioned. All Dizzy did in D3 was eat, sleep, and danced. Did nothing. Contributed nothing. And I really hate, because I love Dizzy, nothing wrong with her, but I was like, why did y'all give this attention to Celia? Celia actually did something to the plot, and the fans just care more about Dizzy, who did nothing, but we know why. You know, because she was more white adjacent. Anyways, moving on. Moving on. That's it. You literally can rewrite these two characters out the movies. Like I said, Descendants had way too many characters in that short span of time. That's why I think it should have been a show. They had way too many characters. Their storylines could have been given to somebody else. You literally can take these two characters out the movies and gave their plots to somebody else in them, and nothing would have changed. Nothing would have changed. And if you did take out what they were doing in those movies, they probably didn't change much of anything. It may have been like 90% the same. Actually, you know what? Let's up that up to 95%. Most of it would have been the same if you took these two out. It's so sad. It's so freaking sad. Descendants is just horrible altogether when it comes to character development. But it's just so obvious that they threw these two characters in here just to say they had diversity. Like, it's so obvious that these two characters were just added on to contribute to the fact that they don't have a mostly white cast. Which they did, if we're being technical. You know what? No, the Descendants actually does have a very diverse cast. I will give them to that. But they literally added these two in here just to show, like, moving further away from the whiteness, which did completely nothing because you did focus your whole story on a freaking white girl. Like, Disney and Nick both have this big issue, so I'm gonna give them the side eye. I'm really gonna need y'all to start treating people of color like actual people and not props, okay? If you're going to include diversity into your stories, you need to give your diversity plots that matter. You need to make them important. You need to make them interesting. You need to make them good. Do I think Dizzy and Lonnie are bad characters? No. Do I think they're good characters? Technically, they are good characters because they're good people, but no, they're not good characters because you literally can take them out and nothing will change. People of color are not props. Same with LGBTQ characters. They're not props. I'm so tired of y'all Disney Channel throwing in characters of color just to say that you're not an all-white network. But you low-key kind of are, because like, who is working behind the scenes of Disney? White people. We would like to see what is going on behind the scenes because I am pretty sure it is just white people making all this stuff. Tired of it. I'm so freaking tired of it, and I hate the fact that it took me so long to realize that both Lonnie and Dizzy deserve better. These two characters deserve so much better, and if you write about them in your fanfiction, Descendants writers, I give some props to you. I am personally trying to do better about writing Dizzy and Lonnie into my fics because I realized that I've been neglecting them for so long simply because I forgot they were there because Disney did nothing with them. It's so sad and I feel so bad because I contributed to this. So yes, if you're a Descendants writer, please try to include Dizzy and Lonnie into your stories. I was able to include Dizzy in one of mine. I was able to include Lonnie in one of mine, but Lonnie is going to have a great important part in the Progenies. You guys are going to love her, okay? She's going to be great. You guys need to follow the Progenies, by the way. We're making a Descendants web series. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But yes, the Progenies, please go follow the Progenies on Instagram. It will be linked down below. Please follow. We will be coming out 2021, okay? Okay. I didn't think this video was going to be this long, nor did I think I was going to be this angry, but I think me just having such a bad week and this whole day just like was the worst of it all, just kind of topped it all off and just contributed to me being down. But it turned into a great video. I'm really proud I made this. This video turned out a lot better than I thought. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Patreon. We will be having so much more fun over there. And when winter break comes up, as you guys know, I am in school. But yes, please support Patreon. Please, because when you guys support the Patreon, you are funding the prodigies. You are funding the progenies, okay? Seriously, all your donations matter, especially at this time. And because I gotta get a new camera battery too. Please, y'all, support me on Patreon if you can. I adore all of you. Love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Continue to be great. This ride on the pirate ship has been a doozy. It might have been a bumpy ride because Captain was in a bad mood. I'm sorry, Captain was in a bad mood today. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching again. And yes, have a good night.